Pokemon Amber was created by Fruity Art. Links to show in the description. I'm gonna do 0 and 1 in one episode just because 0 is just gonna be more of a prologue, I imagine, while 1 will be the actual main stuff.
Hello, everyone!
Greetings!
I'm excited to announce a brand new Pokemon fan region. I'm Gabe. I'm an artist
Thank S Code
and
for the
designer,
suggestion.
and I initially started this project just for fun. It was an excuse to practice my digital art and design skills. But it wasn't until recently that I decided I shouldn't let all that work just go to waste. And
Makes
there
sense.
Are probably some nerds out there who will enjoy it. So
Oh, there's plenty of nerds in the Pokemon community. In fact, if there's one thing we don't have, it's a shortage of them.
So we will talk through the story of the region. We will visit all the routes and cities. We'll meet important characters, witness key events throughout the story, and of course discover all of the brand new Pokemon. This is a visual novel style. It'll be very similar to other PokeTubers, so I'll link to them, but True Green 7, Birdkeeper Toby,
very popular ones.
Hip-Hop, Mr. Buddy.
There are so many fan series, so Pokemon series stuff.
What's going on. In addition to the narrative structure, I'll also be adding in some little inserts where I can discuss the design process behind some of the new Pokemon.
Those, yeah,
over at Jack and
there's 0.5 episodes, and I don't know if I'm going to be watching those, honestly. It depends if it's necessary or if I can skip them. Because I might watch the 0.5s on my own time or something like that, but if they're like necessary material, I might just skip them.
Combines two of my favorite things. Pokemon, obviously.
Naturally.
And Jurassic Park. Yes, I love using dinosaurs.
Who doesn't like dinosaurs?
Anyway, let's go ahead and design the region.
There's a reason that almost every kid growing up liked dinosaurs. They're just inherently cool.
Of like how the region is laid out.
I like the initial design, like a giant circle.
Using Google stuff for planning a bunch of other stuff, and for some reason I did whatever. It doesn't matter.
Kind of reminds me of like a galaxy or something like that.
I wanted to emulate probably my favorite region map, which is the Alola map. Sun and Moon, I love the perspective, so I wanted to mimic that.
Islands.
That kind of rounded
This makes it unique.
And, going with Jurassic Park stuff, I looked at, do we want it to look like the islands from the films, Isla Nublar, Isla Sorna, and I decided to go in a different route. I wanted to evoke that meteor impact that had wiped out the dinosaurs. So we have a great, big, round, beautiful crater in the middle of our island. The other thing
it's got some symbology there. Symbolism, that's what I meant to say.
I probably won't get into it in the series. I love the idea of each route essentially being a wild area. So, there's a path you can follow, but just you can explore and go every which way.
That's cool.
Each of the little settlements is essentially kind of gated off. So you're going into a route, you're exploring, making your way to the next city, going through a gate, that type of situation. But yeah, this is the Palian region.
Damn, you did a great job with that.
You can expect well over 100 new Pokemon.
I hate the fact that some people can do this. Meanwhile, I struggle with stick figures. Mind you, I could probably get, if I ever got down to it, I could like get to it. I could probably get to that level, but no.
I won't be churning these out. Like
30 unless you count the 0.5s.
But I'm hoping to release one every other Friday.
Mine will be Thursdays.
I'll be bringing in a handful of people to record important dialogue moments, but other than that,
nice. You bring some friends along.
All the other work myself. There's a lot to do, but I'm still really excited to share this project. I hope that you'll follow along.
Got a nice solid animation with those that Pokeball.
Pokemon fans and paleontological nerds. If this project is something that you are excited about, please be sure to leave a like.
I like the initial idea, an entire region of fossil Pokemon, in a way. That's very unique. Might get a little old fast just because to see variety, but then again, there were a lot of dinosaurs that had a lot of variety to them, There wasn't all the T-Rex and the Stegosaurus and the Triceratops and all that stuff. I'm interested to see where it could go. Plus, I imagine he's probably going to throw in a couple of interesting things, like a bug or something like that, So yeah, this could be. I like it from the initial design, and I'm interested to see where this goes. So let's get right into episode 1. And here we are with episode 1 proper. New starter Pokemon, because what would a Pokemon game be without starters? Well, I guess Pokemon Coliseum, but those are spin-offs. They don't really count. I guess Ranger? Oh, hello.
We live in a vast world filled with extraordinary Pokemon.
If you don't know this by now, you're kind of dumb.
Professor Ginkgo, have dedicated my life to studying those Pokemon who have been lost to time.
Oh, there they are.
Advancements here in the Paleon region have led to unprecedented discoveries. However,
I think in this region, like, the dinosaurs didn't die out.
Well, no, because there's a crater in the middle. For a research assistant position on our remote biological reserve. Be sure to fill out.
If it was the main timeline, I'd be like, I'd like an explanation. But if it's a fan-made thing, it's like, I'll give that one a pass.
Welcome to episode 1. It seems that you've been selected to help Professor Ginkgo with her research in the Paleon region.
Nice.
Uploading your employee photo lets you customize your trainer's appearance. But to start off, we need to design the trainers. Our trainers for this region are going to be heavily inspired by Ellie Sattler and Alan Grant from Jurassic Park.
Ah, of course.
So I'll be pulling some design elements, moving around, tweaking stuff. I always like to start these videos with at least having the pose figured out.
It's a good start.
And then kind of sketching in the details from there and figuring it out. One of the biggest challenges was figuring out the headwear. Looking back at
your reference points.
Trainers, it's a thing that they just all have hats.
Yeah.
Or some type of headpiece. And I don't like hats. Hats are stupid. So I just found a little bit of headwear.
You found a loophole. The hat's typically on, but not on.
To check that box. Also, the age of the trainers, this has kind of varied a little bit from generation to generation.
Yeah.
Initially, I was like, I want my game to have, like, older protagonists.
Adults.
But I actually just kind of fell back into the standard age range. I know, like, Kalos and some of those regions have been older.
Yeah, Unova was breakthrough in that they were 11.
They could still, like, whatever, get a parent to sign a permission form to go off on their own to some strange new region.
At 10.
So, yeah. So
I think that was something the anime made up, and the freaking official game just never contradicted it.
And who knows if this will ever be implemented in the game, but, like, when you get to a boutique or a salon or whatever, just, like, give me an option to have a fake mustache. Like, I want a fake little goatee that I can put on my character so it looks more like me. So I'm going to pretend like that's an option in this game. When I first started this project, I did a completely different kind of line work. I was using vector lines, which they were really smooth, really nice, and then I would, rasterize them and go through and kind of erase sections so it looked more hand-drawn.
It looks good.
That just takes forever.
I believe you.
So long.
This looks like it takes forever. You'd have to have passion for Pokemon and Jurassic Park and drawing itself just to do it. Because they're just looking at all this and just like, God, no.
And I just kind of go for it. It helps that I have a new drawing tablet that's much larger. It helps get those smooth lines.
I can't imagine being someone who does this for a living, like Curly Artist in the Ink Tank crew, just like, damn, you have my respect.
Representation is pretty important to me. So yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
Throughout all of the characters that are in the Paleon region. I will say these are
representation is rarely a bad thing. It's only when it's shoved down your throat and feels like that's their entire character trait where it feels like a bad thing.
Including Professor Ginkgo, those are all just based on my friends and voiced by my friends. It'll get a little repetitive for me to draw them, and second of all, like, I use pictures of them as reference images, and they don't
dang, you give them shading too. You didn't have to go that far. Like that. So, I don't even think some of the games do that.
Our only people
well, at least the early games, but they were like handheld for like 8-bit games.
I really wanted to get away from the like blue,
I think Sun and Moon
red,
even didn't have that stuff. I don't remember.
Color palette between
the
boys and the girls that is pretty consistent across all the generations. And I wanted to flip that up, but it just didn't work. I ended up falling back on it, mainly because Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler just happened to be in blue and pink already.
Look, we've done this for years because it freaking works, okay?
I'm reluctantly continuing that trend.
You could say there's some traditions we shouldn't keep for years, but look,
here they are.
blue is for boys, pink is for girls. It's fine.
For the sake of this video series, we'll say that you're going with Ellie. And don't worry, Grant will be joining you on your adventure.
Hi, I'm Grant. You must be the other research assistant that was selected. This is so exciting. So few people have even seen this nature preserve. I can't wait to learn all. Wait,
we're going to be following the Black Lady? There's going to be some YouTubers that are going to be very triggered by that, and they need to grow up.
But your boat finally reaches the Paleon region. This is Camp Ryan. It isn't much more than a few pop-up buildings and unpacked supplies.
Hey, that's always the first town.
Professor Ginkgo peeking her head out of a welcome building, and
Hello.
she waves you in.
Welcome, you two. It's going to be so nice having some additional help around here. Here are your employee badges. Things are a bit hectic at the moment, so I'll cut right to the chase.
I guess it's sort of like the ride Pokemon
recently
Gen
had
7
an unfortunate accident that damaged an important lab. We lost a great deal of our research, so I'll need you
and some dinosaurs. And a Salamence.
Will let you recatalog the Pokemon here in the Paleon region. Now, of course, this nature preserve isn't the safest place, so I won't expect you to go alone. But because outside Pokemon are restricted here, I'll have you take one of these with you.
Some of the rarest Pokemon you'll ever find.
Extinct fossil Pokemon, much like you would find in other regions.
Doubly rare when they're extinct.
But here in the Paleon region, our research allows us to restore these Pokemon to their true primal forms.
So they just have those, like, restore fossil Pokemon stuff everywhere.
Cactamo,
this is like Spectrobes
and Salil.
Alright, let's draw some starters. So every good generation has a theme that applies to their starters. And what I landed on was going with Fight or Flight or Freeze. The 3 Fs. So that means our grass starter
you get an F. You get an F.
Is gonna freeze. They, not like cold freeze, but they're gonna rely on camouflage.
Interesting sort of idea with it. Fight, flight, freeze. I like that. You don't really hear much about the freeze part of fight or flight.
Camoufage,
but it is a factor when you think about some people just stand there like a deer in the headlights.
Slow, very cute, very adorable, very round, and those
not very fluffy.
You know any paleontological stuff, you can maybe guess kind of where his design is going to go from here.
Yeah, Spike.
Right. This is Cactamo, the desert plant Pokemon. This Pokemon is originally
Spike
from a hot, arid environment.
What was it?
Cactamo are incredibly playful and affectionate towards people. They enjoy basking in the sun.
Just a precious little cinnamon bun.
And luckily, their thorns are still quite dull. When Cactamo are startled, they freeze in place in hopes that they are mistaken for a plant.
It only sometimes works.
Of course, it's a starter. It's got Overgrow as its standard ability. I'm not going to go into like hidden abilities. I'm not super knowledgeable.
That's fine. That's fine. We don't need much of that. We just need the bare basics.
Their stats as well.
That's fine.
Let's jump into the next one. All right.
I don't want to go into this thing being like, well, actually, these stats are terrible. So
flight, but not like flying, but like running away, fleeing. This is the fleeing Pokemon line.
Oh, so we're going a bit
it's
more
based on
ostrich.
Early birds.
Getting the worm.
And I think the toughest thing with this...
We haven't had a bird start... Well, no, never mind. I forgot about Quaxley. I was going to say it was except for Torchic, but no, I forgot Quaxley existed.
Head on there. And the other tricky thing was having it being the, a fleeing Pokemon, was finding an expression that could convey that. So originally it had like kind of scared looking eyes. And that just wasn't as fun. I like the happier expression. Getting the kind of wing hands into a slightly more nervous position accomplished that. And yeah, it turned out pretty cute. I'm pretty happy with this guy. Again, you can probably guess where this line is going to go.
Interesting on the fire starters, the flight one.
The early bird Pokemon.
I guess it makes sense.
This Pokemon appears to be an ancestor of modern bird Pokemon.
Really?
Their soft feathers rub together when running.
I think this is like Torchic's ancestor.
Which they store internally and can release it to gain a burst of energy. When we are startled, they instinctively run away at great speed.
Run away!
Alright, and lastly, we have our water starter.
Which is going to be the fight one, obviously.
That leaves, then, the fight response. So this is the fighting Pokemon line. That being said, spoiler alert, this is not going to be a fighting type. We get too many fighting starters, so...
Then why did you even bother?
We completely redid this Pokemon, so...
Unless I'm mistaken, we do not have a water
Pokemon
fighting type yet. We've had the grass fighting in Chestnut. We have had the fire fighting in... Well, I don't even need to say it. You all know them. We haven't had a water fighting, I don't think.
You know, it's been...
Unless the Quaxley final evolution is, I don't know.
I did that. So coming back with fresh
eyes,
Quetzalcoatl? I'm able to spot the stuff that just needs redesigned
like
completely, or the little tweaks that need to be made. Yeah, and this water starter was one that was just terrible. This is the new patch added. I'm much more happy with it. I decided to go with a kind of Dilophosaurus look.
Good
those
look.
Two crests. One, it leads into the later line a little bit better than what I had before. And two, it's cute. You know, obviously, Dilophosaurus, it didn't have the frill.
I will say, if you like dinosaur stuff, too, there's a guy, his channel called Your Dinosaurs Are Wrong, where he reviews dinosaur toys, like from childhood and stuff like that. Like from,
reference
maybe not from your childhood
specifically,
but
the hardest part with
like,
this one
you know,
was
dinosaur
I wanted
toys
this little guy to be pretty grumpy.
It's pretty good for background noise. And a little interesting if you just want to like learn something.
So finding that balance of cute and grumpy, I ended up just leaning into the just giant stupid head, and that helped a lot. This is
when all else fails, give them a giant stupid head.
Pokemon.
Because I look at this and think fighting.
Is an expert fisher.
I think it looks like it could bite my face off, so I shouldn't mock it too much.
Sailil are distrustful of people and difficult to train. Pokemon trainers who put in the work find that these Pokemon are incredibly loyal. When Sailil are startled, they stand their ground and attack ferociously. Its ability is Torrent. Again, all these starters have their base abilities.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, he's a tough little guy. So I am curious, without knowing what these three Pokemon may evolve into, which would you choose? So I really do. I want you to leave a comment down below.
I usually go fire starter first, but if I had another
for the sake of this
playthrough
video,
afterwards, it would be Sailil.
We're going to continue as if you have all three. That way you get to see
makes sense
what they all evolve
I don't
into.
hate Cactumo, just like
Grant
he's the least appealing
chooses
to me.
his favorite
or she.
Pokemon, which unfortunately for him has a type disadvantage against your starter.
We're doing that one. All right.
And Professor Ginkgo picks the remaining
I'm
Pokemon.
not too mad about that one. That
Wonderful.
one was cute.
I suppose this adorable Pokemon will come with me. Let me point out an important difference here. The Paleon region is far less developed than other regions, so don't expect to run into fully functioning Poke Centers and shops everywhere you go. Instead,
what do you mean I can't get a full restore every time I take a step?
Poke Beacons. This will allow you to transfer Pokemon to and from our centrally located Poke Center to heal them.
Interesting.
It also
so
allows
you don't get
you
a heal every
purchase
5
any needed
steps
items,
again.
which are then delivered via drone.
That's unique.
Now, I am
kind of
needed
interesting.
elsewhere, but before I go, do you need a refresher on how to catch wild Pokemon?
No.
Wait. Wait a minute. Professor Ginkgo would explain the basics to you, but Grant and yourself.
Do I get a free item for it? So if you give me like a potion or something.
I didn't think so. You two look like you'll have no problem.
It'll only take like 2 minutes, right?
Running all over the Paleon region, so I'm certain I will bump into you again soon. Until then.
Well, that was a short orientation. I'm glad she gave us these partner Pokemon to help protect us out there. We should probably get to know them. What do you say? Care for a quick battle?
Who battle Grant and are victorious. The two of you head out of Camp Ryan for Route 1. Where you are certain to encounter your first wild Pokemon of the Paleon region. But we will pick up there in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and please leave a like if you enjoyed the video.
We're just gonna cut it off.
I would love to hear your thoughts on today's episode.
Alright, so yeah, that was a good starting episode. Got our starter Pokemon and met a bit more people. And yeah, I'm interested with these starter Pokemon especially because upon thinking about it a bit more, it does make sense as to why who's who. I mean, the grass type starter is Freeze, and as we all know, grass just tends to just kind of stay there. Doesn't really move. It grows, of course, but from its roots, not really moving from that spot. Once the roots are in the ground, it's there until it's pulled out. As for the fire type running, well, fire spreads and it moves all over the place. Goes to as many places as possibly can. And water, well, you live with sharks, so it's fight or die. You can run and stuff like that, but you're gonna die. So it makes sense. And fish are always moving, and sharks are always moving and stuff like that. So that would probably fit more of the run mentality, but still. I like all of their designs. Again, I think I would go with the fire type first because you know how I am. But I think the water type actually has the best design out of the three, honestly. The grass type, not too thrilled on, but it's alright. It's not a bad design, you know? So yeah, nice 3 new Pokemon, and I'm looking forward to see where more of this goes. I kind of like this drawing as we go sort of thing. Maybe I'll check out the 0.5s. Although if I do check out the 0.5s, it'll be like... Yeah, I'm not going to do it for episode 2, but let's just say, for example, episode 3 and 3.5 would just be a combined episode, and probably something like that. I like just doing 3 and then 3.5 after just seems a little redundant, but we'll see what happens. Who knows, plans could change. Even I don't know what I do sometimes. But anyway, yeah. Cool series, go check it out in your own time, and yeah, until next time, later.